You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Claude Ray, Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town! What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world. And guess what, Jimmy? We gloated today. Boy, we had so much stuff going on yesterday, but I'm gonna start this show. First of all, Jimmy, I want to tell the starting five from yesterday was Otha Brown, Christopher, Mindy Collins, Clarence Harris, Daryl Anderson, Chris O'Neal, and Christopher Gavin. Those were the starting five yesterday, and the show was so complex yesterday, I did not give him, but guess what? I shouted y'all out today. But Jimmy, it was really interesting day, for lack of a better term, yesterday, Jimmy. You know, on what happened in the morning in Los Angeles and the afternoon here in Houston, and what it led to going on that evening yesterday. Some really remarkable performances, where the specter of Kobe Bryant sort of looming over everything, Jimmy. The date had a lot to do with it now, because it was 2/24, but almost a month after the tragedy with Kobe Bryant, they had a celebration yesterday. It was sad, but it was a celebration. And I think it was it was a little too more. I'm glad we've had time to process it, because yesterday when I went back and watched the celebration, I got a chance, because it happened while we were on the show. We didn't get a chance to watch it. There was humor, and there were stories about Kobe we didn't know. And that Vanessa showed so much strength, Jimmy. I know doing all of the funerals in my family, I was never able to speak. But I didn't have a month to process it. You follow me? So what But what it led to are some remarkable performances across basketball landscape. And I just wanted to just share with y'all in case y'all didn't know. It was felt only not in NBA, Jimmy, but also in college basketball. There was weird connections to Kobe, for lack of a better term. For example, Bradley Beal last night in a loss to the Milwaukee Bucks, Jimmy, scored 50 points in his second straight game. The last guy to ever do that was Kobe Bryant. You follow me? Then James Harden, who was at the memorial service at the Staples Center and flew back to Houston in time to play the Knicks last night, scored 30 points in the first half, Jimmy, tying Kobe Bryant for the most 30-point first halves for the last 20 seasons. Okay? If you didn't know, Harden, Westbrook, and PJ Tucker were all at the ceremony and flew back and made it back in time. Jimmy, I heard they touched down about 5:20 yesterday. Russell didn't play in the game last night. He had a sore thumb, but Harden finished with 37 points in 3 quarters, Jimmy. You know, you like to talk about that 3 quarters. Jimmy, you put yourself on mute. You're on mute, baby. Hit that mute button.
There we go.
Okay, now what did you say? What'd you say?
Shout you guys, man. What's going on Tuesday? Chop. Speak. Let's go right into them Rockets. James Harden played.
Yeah.
That was me and Kobe when we were rapping while y'all was on there. I had Kobe in there with me in the Chop Shop. He watching some highlights and stuff right now. But you know, I'm impressed. The Rockets got another win. Also impressed to the fact that James Harden was able to accomplish the feat of flying halfway across the country and dropping 37 points in 34 minutes from the Rockets. And he was 4 from 11, which is that's moderate for him right now. And don't play Kobe no mind, guys. He's playing with one of his toys right now. That's all. Ain't
nobody think about Kobe.
And the puppy was named Kobe because it was obtained on January the 26th. That afternoon, only a few hours after Kobe Bryant had passed away in the helicopter crash. Now, back to the game. One of the things that I do like is, and I always make note of, is the bench play. This game, the Houston Rockets probably got more points from their bench than they've received in a very long time. Right now, last night, 47 points from the bench. I said it again, 47 points from the Houston Rocket bench last night. McLemore, 17. Austin Rivers, 14. Green, 9. And Damari Carroll, 7. So the 2 additions are contributing. Not to mention the fact that Covington had a double digits. He had 11 points. So with that type of productivity, what it's showing is what's going to happen. It's like anybody. If they bring somebody into your workplace that they don't tell you they coming to take your job, but you see the writing on the wall. They're coming to replace your lack of productivity, if not necessarily take your job. So what's happening is a lot of these guys, the Rockets, you realize that small ball is small ball. And the one thing I love about it is because now positions don't matter. Spacing do. So now who's the 4 if PJ Tucker's not in? PJ Tucker, see, none of y'all care. This proves it. If you're getting paid, you can give a hoot what position you playing. Think about it. Just had the conversation this morning. When your kids get to college, all that he's playing out of position and they playing my baby wrong. If the next coach get him at the next level and playing him, ain't nobody going to ask you after the game. Howard, when the last time somebody asked you ever, and your son played 4 years at Cornell, how many times did anybody call you after the game and say, what position did they put him at?
No.
So nobody never asked you that. What position did they play your baby at last night?
No.
Why does positions matter so much? If nobody after the game know what you care about, how many minutes he played last night,
Go.
then gonna say, well, what did he do?
That 31 minutes, yeah. That 31 minutes per night, yeah.
That's what matters. So why do we act like, well, let me use chalkboard on that. Why do we allow ourselves as parents to get fooled by this fake narrative of the position when there you go, Kobe. You know I'm telling you the truth.
Do your thing, Kobe.
That's my choir over there. You know, they got old deacon.
Hey, man, I'm come over there and whip that dog. Hey, our production manager said you got to shut the dog up. No, just kidding.
He over there chilling. He see me be talking loud.
No, he been go sleep in a minute.
Yeah, he supposed to been past his nap time. But if he's on, and Ashley just said, just as long as he's on the floor, bango. Just as long as he's on the floor. And yes, Calvin Williams, we're going to talk about that Klein Forest game last night in just a second. But I want to make sure I hit this nail in the wood so you guys understand, once again, the narrative of playing out of position. That is something you don't hear college coaches say that. And they're recruiting your kid, they don't hardly say they playing. He's playing out of position. I don't know if I can evaluate him right because he's playing out of position. That's bull. If a college coach is recruiting your son and they're evaluating or your daughter, they know what they're looking for.
Ricky Scott said you got sound effects.
Yeah.
Boy, I love this boom boom room. They off the chain, man.
And so here's the thing. Summer coach, grassroots coaches, that's the most that you hear, the narrative of playing out of position. That's where it comes from. It's from the grassroots coaches. Man, the high school coach playing him out of position. Man, the high school. So that's where the fear comes from. It comes from there. You don't hear the high school coaches ain't saying it about the grassroots. They playing him out of position. I ain't gonna be able to use him right. I got a deep. They playing him out of position. That's where it comes from.
But Coach, you know what's so funny? I'm glad you said that. And parents, I probably can help your parents. Because after Robert's freshman year, I'm going to put it like this. He had the ball in his freshman year, whole time. So they had other ball handlers the next year because some guys came back who were injured. Guess what? Robert called me talking about, man, they're going to have me sharing the ball. I said, you still on the starting lineup? He said, yeah. I said, well, shut the hell up and keep playing. And he wind up, Jimmy, guess what? He learned how to play better without the ball. So, Jimmy, in his fourth year, when the other coach got fired and the new coach brought in the Princeton offense, guess what the Princeton offense requires for you to do? Move what? Without the ball. So guess what? He wasn't lost. So sometimes parents, y'all just chill out and let these little nappy-head boys play. That's what I did, man. Let them coaches, man. I know y'all be, man, the coach, man. All I do, Jimmy, I learned that word that I told you Alan Branch always said. Control the controllables. Dude, let's control what we can control. I can't control the coach. That man is one of it ain't but 350 head coaches in NCAA, the one division, D1 basketball. That man is one of 350 men that's on this planet. You think I'm going to tell him what to do? Got to be out your mind, mama and daddy. So don't do that. I told y'all, don't ever call them coaches talking about playing time with little Johnny. Jimmy, you remember I gave him a secret. This is what you tell the coach. Coach, if anything up there on that campus happens, anything that you can't handle, Coach, do me a favor. Give me a chance to talk to him first before you go do something drastic. So that's how you have to talk to the coach. Coach, give me a chance to correct the problem first. I'm helping you, Coach. I'm with you. And watch how your career, your son's career, you're gonna have less headaches, less anxiety when you do it that way. But go on, Jimmy. Go on, do your thing.
I mean, I'm reading some of the comments,
Mhm.
and let me go and take care. I got to get Kobe some water. That's what it is.
Okay, go get him some water. I got you. I'm gonna click you off. I click you off. I got you. I click y'all. Go get Kobe some water. Now hold up. What y'all talking about on this on this Facebook feed? A lot of games last night. I had great time. Hey Wendy, I saw Wendy Johnson. You know what I love about the Johnson family? They bring their whole family out there. They had Matula nephews, Pop. Everybody came out there last night. I had a great time. Let me tell you something. Trey Phillips trying to get me to come to the girls' game. Trey, I can't be in but one place at a time. I tried. I tried to map this thing out last night. I wanted to go see LJ play. He played at 7, but he played at the Merrill Center. The Merrill Center is 30-some miles away from the Butler. I didn't want to get there late so I can see. And then I wanted to see Shadow Creek play in a playoff atmosphere. So let me tell you something. I was at the games. What we did, Doug went over there. Jimmy went to another place. What we did, we just tried to spread this thing around so we can put our eyes on this thing. And I just can't wait till we get to talking about it. The things that happened last night. I don't want the high school basketball guru. I don't want to steal his thunder, but I just I couldn't make it, Trey. I had to choose. Sometimes you choose in life that I can't be at all the games. I saw Kendall and them play the other day. I wasn't there gonna drive. I live a long way from the Merrill Center. I'm just gonna tell you, a long way. So, but Doug took care of that for me. What's up, Anthony Weston? But y'all, it's some great thing. I'm waiting on Jimmy to come back. I tell you what, because I don't want to interfere. Oh, he just popped back in. I can watch this button. I click a button, he's there. Boy, I just love this thing. But now, Jimmy, you back. What were you talking about?
Well, I mean, we were talking about the position topic a while ago,
Okay.
And because it's that time of the season, whereas grassroots is about to pop up, and I noticed and I thought about it and I tracked that whole narrative. And yes, there are some people that some players that are played out of what you call position. But if that college coach is recruiting them, and that coach knows what position that kid is capable of filling in his program or not as they evaluate him. Now that coach will tell you if he likes you or the player, or even if he don't like him that much, that coach is still going to play and keep good field position. The thing about it that's sad is that the college coaches they're seasoned enough, most of them, to understand that if they told you nothing but the truth, the entire truth, you probably would close the door and box them out. Meaning that because a lot of coaches understand wherever they're at right now, that coach may get a pay raise. He may get fired. They may be at a different place 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So many coaches, they cultivate these relationships because of the fact that they're not knowing where your son may be, or a situation he may fall back into their lap, and they may have another opportunity to recruit him at another destination or at the same location. So they won't dare tell you flat out, no, I don't like him. See, that's the difference. I don't like him doesn't mean we're not looking for that position right now, or we feel that position right now. Mm-hmm. That's two different things. So if a coach tell you, man, your kid just not good enough. Well, what if that coach is at a D3 next year? You're going to remember that guy just said your kid wasn't good enough. You ain't going to send your kid to him, but you want him to tell you the truth. You want them to tell you the truth. You don't really want college coaches to tell you the truth. Let's be honest with each other. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And I'm looking at Herb says, what people have to understand is that Duke started Emil Jefferson. right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a 6'7" post and started for 4 years, and now he's in the NBA. If a 6'7" kid plays in the ACC and makes it to in the post and makes it to the highest level, then what the entire up are you talking about? I mean, that's the position list. Nobody cares about the position. Think about this. Remember James Harden, Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Mm-hmm.
going now? You see that narrative? The Rockets aren't floating that narrative out there because all that would do is cause a whole bunch of unnecessary static. If you're winning, if you're playing, if you're balling, it don't matter. Stop letting positions matter to you. Now, don't get it twisted. If you are a true point guard, your habits will supersede during the course and the flow of that game. I don't give a damn where you start off at. They're going to come to light. If you are a shooter, your habits are going to in the face of turmoil or turbulence in that course of a game, it's going to seep out through the pores. You'll be able to tell if you're a goon or if you soft as medicated cotton. It's going to seep out in the flow or in the course of competitive battle. You can't hide this stuff. That's why it's so hard. Some people want people to be pegged, their kids to be pegged into a position so that it will be easy to hide their flaws. I
But
think.
Jimmy, what about the narrative that all levels, and from what I've been watching, all positions are interchangeable. And all I say, my thing is, Herb, I used to say you are what you can guard. Jimmy, if you can't guard no point guard, you ain't no point guard. That's how I just always equated this thing. But guess what? I mean, it's a great narrative if you wanna challenge it and want to talk about it. But what happened, Jimmy? How did this come about? What made this somebody talked about a player's position or
I
something?
mean, you get those conversations all the time.
Okay.
Well, and I'll go back to the boom boom room. We catch some. I'm loving your comments, guys.
Yeah.
Keep the comments going. Melvin do say position used to be based on size.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's based on skill level. If he walked in the gym at 6'7", he had to hit that block. Nowadays, he might be Cade Cunningham and take your ball beater spot at point guard. True. That's a difference now. It used to be your biggest guy would be your center automatically.
Mm.
That's not necessarily the case, but it takes what it takes. Mm-hmm. It takes the coach mm-hmm. to understand and adopt into the new facets of reality of the culture of basketball. A lot of coaches are late and they're on the snooze right now. and as you guys go and select these coaches, that's your job to evaluate the coach of whom you allow your kid to go and play with. So what if we don't play Boston in 9th grade? You pick another school, you go whatever the hell you want. You sit out there 1 year, play JV, and then guess what? They can kiss your ass. He can play wherever he wants.
Watch your mouth, Jimmy.
Kiss your mule.
Guess what? Watch your mouth. Mindy is on the line. The first lady is on the line. But keep going.
and that's the thing. Doug Jones said, softer than a high Twinkie. I mean, so guys, I'm just thinking that I'm not saying that positions don't matter, because that's something that we use to label the kids. It used to be easy to label them. It used to be relatively easy to label them, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, big power forward, center. That was the old regime. Then it went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eventually,
Jimmy, guess what somebody told me? Somebody up in Dallas. They had a tryout this weekend, right? They said, man, it was 200 people in the tryout. 190 of them was guards. The man said with 200 people in there, and 190 of them was guards, man. I
don't know what
said,
to say
man, you
about
got to be exaggerating, man. It's unbelievable. Hey, where the tall people at? Where the tall people? Jim, hey, you know what? I haven't been to a tryout this year, so I don't know what's going on. And Doug, you was at a tryout. Is most of the people in there guards? Everybody in there, Jimmy, I tell you what, Jimmy, if you had 200 people come and pay $20 to come to your practice, your workout, wouldn't you find a way to have all 200 of them playing on a team some kind of way if you had the structure to do it? Wouldn't
Say it
you?
again.
I wouldn't let me personally, I don't know the business, but I wouldn't have let nobody get out that gym. I was going to find a team. Maybe I'm wrong. I was going to construct a team. If they paid that 20, I was going to work that thing out, Jim.
That 20 don't equate to the dues.
I know. I'm just saying. But if they thought enough to come to my thing and pay $20 to try out, and it's 200 of them, I'm gonna figure that thing out, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. You know, I'm a businessman too. I'm not gonna let you get out the gym.
Well, the thing is, you got to realize a lot of teams are having the tryouts, and
Yeah.
what a lot of parents don't. You can't tell me they can't understand it, because a lot of these parents are degreed, they're very intelligent, very successful, very smart in life. But when it comes to your kid, I've been told this several times, then a parent can sometimes become the dumbest person in the room when it comes to your
Jimmy.
own.
Let's call it ignorant. They just don't know.
Well,
That's a little better.
a lot of them can see it and they don't want to accept it. So that's different now, Adam.
That's dumb.
That's dumb.
Okay.
You can become the dumbest person in the room when it comes to your own kid. And I understand that. So the thing is, do you not understand most, especially the sneaker sponsored or the teams under the sneaker umbrella, when they have tryouts, do you guys not understand that 80% of this team is already slotted, the personnel?
You talking about the sneaker people?
The teams under the sneaker umbrella.
Okay.
The vast majority, before tryouts are even conducted, most of the slots, 8 of the 10 slots, are already allocated in most cases. In most cases. So you're coming out for maybe 2 spots. If you're lucky, 2 spots. Now what happened is, understanding the odds. You don't, why some of y'all, before you come try out, do you ever, how many of you out there ask the question, who's confirmed on the team? And now the smart coach would say, well, we don't have no spots left. This is a wide open tryout. That's the smart comeback. Then you would say, well, you have to make the initiative to call one of the players that played last year or one of their parents. I keep telling y'all, see, the people know. You parents, y'all sit in the stands and you backbite each other so much that you will refuse to call each other for advice.
Wow.
That's the crazy. And then you look and you say, well, damn, look at them. You know, this guy, this recruiting service, they don't talk about that and this and that. Well, look at y'all. This everywhere in this stuff. It's the fabric this is the byproduct of what we've all created or recreated in the youth basketball sector. This stuff is unbelievable right now. If parents were to rely and welcome or invite other parents to call them for advice. For example, if your son or your daughter played with Basketball University last year, that's why I mentioned that program, because they have no more teams, right? Mm-hmm. So that means now that parent can't feel that they could be retaliated against because there's no more coaches in basketball U, right? So why not call one of those parents and ask them what are some of the errors or some of the cautions that you would have towards me as I entered this stuff? I've heard about it, but I would love to ask you. Don't just ask just one person. Pick a person from different programs. That would really if the parent would do that, 3 phone calls. Call one from Adidas, one from the Under Armour, one from the Nike. And just pick the brain. And you now understand, make sure their kids were of similar status in relation to the team. I mean, you're not going to call the star of the Nike team, then call the 12th man of the Under Armour team. That's not the same correlation of the parent. Those are 2 different experiences. Call a person that you would think that relate, that,
I didn't figure that. Some of these parents don't want to ask no questions. I just want my son to play basketball. I ain't got time to ask y'all all them damn questions.
Okay, but then you're going to pay for it triple. You're going to pay for it threefold. And guess what? And you're going to risk your son or daughter being miserable as a result of this stuff. When you know you would love your son or daughter has possible skills to get a free education, it don't take much.
I got you. I like
All it takes is just get better over the course of 4 years. You can keep getting better for 4 years and stay enthused and can play some decent defense and knock down free throws, or if you're tall, grab rebounds. You can play free somewhere.
Yeah.
You really can. So I understand why some people think they can win this scratch-off lotto of a scholarship.
Right.
I really understand this. But then the truth of the matter is, it depends on how you are advertised. That's why the positions come in. If you can just erase the part about that, coach, what are you looking for? We're looking for somebody. I promise you, great conversation. Coaches call me all the time. You guys understand that. So when they ask me, we need a point for next year, for 2020. Know what my question is today, coach? What kind of point are you looking for? Because different definitions. Your point guard may not be, understand, that's how we've gotten it. We got a 1A, 1B, 1C, 1-3. It ain't just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no more. They got a 4B, 4A, 4C. It's a different variation of the 4 now. What do you need him to be able to do? Then that helps me. Because now you're talking about a 1. Well, hell, Justin Hill thinks he's the 1. Jordan Ivy Curry thinks he's a 1. Dalen Hamilton thinks he's a 1. Braylon Bush thinks he's a 1. So what? There's 4 different kinds of guards that all can play the 1. But you need to know. So ask the question. Join me. We all can get smarter together at this stuff and stop being fools to these people who are the recruiters, who are seasoned veterans at what they do.
Right. Right.
That's the thing. What do you need? Well, I need a point guard. They ain't gonna never shoot the ball. It's gonna pass whatever. Well, then guess what? I bet you'll say, you know what? No, I don't want my boy to go there. You see? Because you never ask. You gotta ask this stuff. And so now we go to the boom boom room. Lionel say, why don't parents sit down with their kids and choose 5 colleges they would like to play for, attend summer camps, and talk directly with the coaches? Lionel, that would be the perfect world. Because the truth of the matter is, the college coaches ain't going to answer the phone of those 5 parents. Of those parents in random order. It's not likely to happen. At the schools where they think their sons can play it. See, it's the thing, that identifying the talent level of your son and selecting a place where he can maximize his ability for minutes per game is not an easy task. It's really not. You need a little luck. You think I'm joking? Think about it like this. Will Baker was buried at the end of the bench for the University of Texas Longhorns. 2 or 3 players got hurt. It ain't like Will Baker's coach would down and say, "Oh, Will Baker, you're gonna play them. You're gonna play next week." This whole time, Will Baker, his ass working on the red shirt. So opportunity presented itself as a result of injuries. That's what happened to Stretch Williams. He got to play more because of a player in front of him got injured. And that means it freed up the opportunity to be able to go and play and be relaxed in your role. Right? And Clarence said, "I'm in my bag." No, I'm not. I'm not really. I'm not in a bag on purpose today. I'm really just trying to help alert a lot of the parents and relatives out there to understand some of the things that is so easy to fall victim of. That you have the power to be able to educate yourself as well as the person next to you. And after eventually, if it takes a period of time, once the parents become educated in this stuff, that's when this thing will revolutionize once again, because it would be a conspired, a galvanized uprising within, because the power, it exists and it dwells in the hands of the parents. I'm talking about grassroots basketball and high school basketball alike, because once the parent, see, here's what happens. A lot of the high school coaches, when you're in the 8th grade, they do the opportunity for them to play varsity as a 9th grader. Right? Mm-hmm. If you have the power whereas if you was to say, I don't give a hoot if I play varsity or not as a 9th grader. I just need my kid to play. I'd rather my kid play 9th grade basketball and play 24, 30 minutes a game and to sit there and all the time he gonna sweat is in the layup line.
I've been there, done that.
But some people, Houston don't get cold enough to even wear your Leatherman jacket no more. I don't even know that's what they get anymore for playing varsity. Back in the days, you got a leather coat with a patch on the front. But at the same time, you guys, I'll put it like this, Adam, you've been through the rigors of summer basketball.
Yes, sir.
If any 3 of the starting 5 parents got together and told the coach, this is where we want to go. If it's February or January and the schedule comes out in April, if 3 of those starting 5 parents got called that coach on the 3-way or jammed him up at the restaurant for a quick meeting and says, "Coach, we're thinking about it. We don't want to go to Vegas. We want to go to Orlando this year." What you think that coach gonna do?
They're going to Orlando, Coach. I'm telling you. The top 3 people, of course. And that's the way it should be, because if you're not on a sneaker program, you're on an independent program. That's what's the great thing about being independent, Jimmy. You can be an independent thinker. And the parents can say, "Look here, man, we just rather go here." So, I mean, I love that. I mean, I've always loved that. That's why I loved about having the franchise all-stars. Jimmy, I mean, we didn't have a set schedule. What we did, you can't do. It's probably not feasible. People probably can't do it now, but they can't. Well, they can't do it now. What we did, John Henson was our most best player, right? So he was ranked kind of low. Mm-hmm. So what we did, we just said, "Look, these are the top big men in the country. Let's go find out where those guys playing. Let's go find out where DeMarcus Cousins is playing. Let's go to that tournament. Derek Favors, let's go to that tournament. Ronaldo Sidney, let's go to that tournament." It was one more big guy. And guess what? We put John in those positions, and guess what? John went and mowed them guys down. Every time he played, he had DeMarcus Cousins so upset. DeMarcus Cousins, a high school player, cussed out head coach out. Yes. Killed Derek Favors. Oh, Ronaldo Sidney, he just sent him back home. But what happened after that? See, you can't do that no more because of the, because of the EYBL, and you can't get to them guys because you can't. They on exclusive circuits. But just a few years ago, you were able to go hunt them guys down. That's what I love about Kobe Bryant. And when he was younger, and he was talking about a lot of guys were ranked ahead of him. Mamas and daddies, instead of whining and telling your kid, well, that kid ain't better than you, put out a hit list. Kobe had a hit list, Jimmy. He said, all them guys ahead of me, when I get to play them, no, he didn't call it hit. He called it a kill list. I'm going to kill everybody in front of me. So that's the kind of attitude you should have instead of hating on the guys in front of you. I'm better than him. I'm better than him. I'm better than him. Yeah. So, but Jimmy, I just can't wait to get to when we get to talking about grassroots basketball. Talk about the field, because something unique happened in the funeral. I mean, in the celebration yesterday. I watched how Michael Jordan talked about his relationship with Kobe. How fella, kept asking him for information. In other words, Michael said, I was tired of him calling me 3 o'clock in the morning. But Jimmy, the boy he said, then as it kept happening, he said, turned into passion. The young fella just wanted to be the best. You got a guy like Jimmy Hicks. That is the Michael Jordan in this high school stuff around here. And you got guys trying to do this stuff. Nothing against the guys. But ain't nowhere in the world. I wouldn't, if I ever wanted to do any of this, you'd have been the first dude I'd have said, man, let's go to lunch, Jimmy. On me. I know you like Crown. I'm going to have you some Crown there. And I'm going to pick your brain about stuff that's going. Because, see, it's some stuff going on behind the scenes that you had to deal with over these 19 years that people don't know. Those the things you can help me so I don't fall into them pitfalls. And the reason it touched home to me, Jimmy, somebody called me the other day. Adam, do you know this guy? I said, I know him. Have you ever counseled with this guy? I said, no, he never asked me anything. He never worked for nobody, but he trying to represent one of my kids. And you don't know him, and he ain't ever talked to you. Struck him off the list. He don't even get an interview. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's biblical to seek wise counsel. Just don't seek anybody's counsel. Don't get me. To seek wise counsel. If somebody's doing something that I want to do, I'm going to go ask him. Say, man, let's sit down. Let me just pick your brain. Instead of me with no client, no experience, call a parent and say I want to be on this list. Hell no. It's not going to happen. So I go back, and Jimmy, I thought about it yesterday, Jimmy, when the guy called me. And he was just saying, and then I thought about you. Then I watched what you did over the weekend. That stuff you did over the weekend, it was careful thought. Think about what you did. You sought wise counsel from who? Ralph Cooper, who had done that high school basketball stuff. I mean, middle school basketball. My son participated in it. And I just don't understand why people don't respect the process. Kobe said, look, if I'm going to be a copycat, let me copy the baddest cat. Michael Jordan, y'all used to say, he walk like him. He chew gum like him. He do this, he do this. Man, if I'm going to be a copycat, I'm going to copy the best cat. But Jimmy, you can comment on that if you want to. I just thought about it. because I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help, man. We got to be a lot smarter. We just got to be a lot smarter. What you got on that, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, and um, you went back talking about the MJ piece and
Yeah.
the coming along. Understand, a lot of times, and that's the thing. You guys understand. A lot of times, people that are coming in, it's kind of like the basketball. I listened to Michael Jordan's speech about 3 times. You know, first time, of course, we were on the chop shop, but didn't hear it. You could see him, tears flowing out of his eyes yesterday, and which later we learned that during his speech he controlled that narrative of his own tears and reflected and added a nice injection of humor to it about the meme, that was created before. Well, what I was impressed with the fact that a lot of people before LeBron had came and taken on the scene back in 03. Well, Kobe was, remember, a lot of things he did was kind of like in the shadows, a mimic of Michael Jordan. From the tongue hanging out the mouth, to the way he wore the shorts, to the way he kind of walked, to the way he kind of, it was almost as if he got into a character, a reality character of Michael Jordan. Then came the comparison, the competition after 5 rings later. Kobe gonna pass. Kobe gonna be better than Mike. So then, the wedge began. Not unbeknownst, these guys are brothers from they're of the same fraternity of their largest endorser, which is Nike. So the people within behind the scenes, these guys were often Kobe, as MJ said during the speech yesterday, that Kobe would call him and they would communicate often. Kobe called Michael Jordan to ask him about some new moves for his 12-year-old daughter in the middle of the night. Now, albeit Michael Jordan said it was 2:00 in the morning, yes, probably on the East Coast, but where Kobe was at, that's 9:00. So he didn't really follow it. But my point is, Kobe reached out to MJ. Pay attention. A lot of times when you're coming through, now we see Zion coming. Watch real closely. Before the game, you're not gonna see much before the game because they'll be doing a lot of the pregame stuff in the studios. But after the game, you watch the short. LeBron is going to walk up to Zion. I can almost tell you how it's going to go. He's going to put his hand over his mouth, or he's going to whisper something in Zion's ear. And Zion is going to take it and going to nod his head and going to receive all of that. Then he'll go to the podium after the game in the presser, and they're going to ask him, what did LeBron say? Here's the thing. The torch from the great ones is not passed along when you first come on the scene. Torches aren't passed. If you come in basketball and I'm doing what I'm doing and you're thinking, well, Hicks, man, you know what, you're out with the old, in with the new. I'm not passing you my torch. Now, what I can do for you, I can take my torch and light your torch. That way now you have fire, you have a torch, and it's validated. And eventually I'm going to light enough torches to whereas now if my torch ever went out, then guess what? I can still get a little light to find a way to go find my seat or find the bed to go lay in. That's the thing how it goes. A lot of people, you can't, like I mentioned, parents got to call parents. When you guys are in this stuff, everybody is called to get a little piece of stuff and get intel. There's no set rule book. There's no blueprint. There's no doctrine that you can go follow, no degree that you can get to go through the rigors of grassroots basketball. None. There's no certification that you can get to tell if you're a scholar or a doctor or just a novice at it. You're in. And guess what? Most times it's going to leave a bunch of knots upside people's heads. I'm talking about as far as mental knots. When Glenn Smith got into grassroots basketball, Glenn Smith called me from East Texas. He had just come out the military. It's like, man, I'm thinking about getting into this stuff. I said, who? He called about 3-4 times before I called him back. He's like, he was living in somewhere in Texarkana. He went to SFA. And he was thinking he wanted to get into basketball. Talked to him a little while. He called back some more, talked to him some more. He moved to Dallas and got into it. But then obviously he was smart enough to back out of the driveway after about 4 or 5 years because he realized what it inserted himself into, and he had saw and had done homework and saw what I was doing. That wasn't his passion because it had too much flack to come with that. And at the same time, right before Glenn started working with the law firm, Glenn didn't have a day job. He was a military veteran, but didn't have a day job. So that means you can't, I explained to the young fella, you ain't gonna be able to make a living off of this stuff unless you're doing events. You can survive. That's about all. You're trying to survive. So then a lot of people, when they're getting inserted themselves. Up in Dallas, little Kellen Buffington, when he first thought about starting, about a couple of years ago, he pulled me over in the parking lot. I was on the way to see a game in Dallas. I missed the game, ended up talking to him for about 45 minutes in the parking lot. He was asking me a lot of intel on what should he do, what should he look out for. Gave him a lot of skull therapy. And now he's blasted off and one of the most loved guys in the DFW area for covering the area. And understand, I helped light his torch. That don't mean I helped start him in the business. It just helped him to be able to see.
But he was smart enough to seek wise counsel.
And I'm not the only guy he probably asked.
No. Not just you, but wise counsel is, if you got people in the business that you're trying to get into, you ain't got go research this thing, man. This is a hard business. What I do, that's hard. The sports agency business, Jimmy, is the number one business to get into and the quickest to get your black ass back out of. The number one to try to get into, and everybody, I got a license. You ain't got no damn clients. Dude, it's unbelievable, man, dude. You ain't got nobody who's gonna listen to you. You got to, dude, these people ain't crazy no more. I mean, these people are getting a lot smarter. A lot smarter. But Jimmy, I just wanted to share that with you. You know, I watched how Doug Jones said, hey, okay, I like this stuff. All right, Jimmy, I'm under your wing. Dude, that's all it takes. Don't be too proud. So that's all. We can go. What's up, Ed Mishaw? Ed Mishaw in the building, man. So what else we got, Jimmy?
Oh, let me shift gears, and of course, more NBA news. Speaking of the Kobe and LeBron, the Lakers will play the Pelicans tonight, and that's going to be interesting. And all eyes is definitely on that game because so far Zion has definitely lived up to the hype. But the undercurrent, don't get lost in this undercurrent of this game. All of them former Lakers is back and coming back home with this full team for the first time. So don't you think that Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Hart, and what's the other cat name is for? Who I'm missing from the former
Hart,
Lakers?
Ingram,
Ball, and who else?
I don't know. Them the ones that matter.
Don't you think? Now, Ingram, is he still hurt? Is he
I don't
back
know. I
yet?
don't keep up with him that much.
Well, you know he got hurt. He got hurt right for the All Star. But shout out to Tommy Mason Griffin in the Boom Boom Room. I see
Tommy,
your.
what Tommy? What's up, baby?
Well, I love to get Tommy Mason Griffin, and we can have
That's my
we can chop
man.
it up with him on the Chop Shop one day about his journey during summer ball and high school ball. But that was one quiet story back in the day. Madison High School was. Remember when Tommy Mason Griffin played for Madison,
Uh-huh.
Coach Mara made the new uniforms in the replica of the Washington Bullets with they had those uniforms like the old Bullets. Remember the old Washington Bullets before they became the Washington Wizards? And those uniforms were kind of cool, kind of slick. But that was definitely a Houston high school legend, Tommy Mason Griffin. And shout out to him. And we definitely can take a blast to the past on one Thursday with TMG up in there. But anyway, other NBA news last night.
What?
Adam, you got to explain to me what's going on with your Clippers. They say something ain't right with the Clippers, Adam.
What you mean?
I mean, they had lost like 3 in a row, right?
Okay.
Saying what I mean, right? That ain't common, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is common, but keep on.
And they finally got to their winning ways last night.
Okay.
Right.
I'm trying to see.
They showed clips of the glove of the claw. I'm sorry, Kawhi Leonard fussing at one of his teammates on the court. That was kind of uncharacteristic.
And guess what? I talked to some people that know him. They say he do that all the time. It just ain't caught all the time. He get on you. He just seemed cool. They say he gets on you. I talked to some people. I just asked. They say he always does that. And all he did is told Montrez, keep running. I mean, keep running. Why you stop running? What he supposed to say? Montrez, go on, keep on running. I mean, don't stop. No, he said, man, you should have kept running. Montrez tried to give him an excuse. I thought you was going to get to him. No, you keep running. You the big man. You finish. That's all. That's all he was saying to him. That's all. But, I mean, it's good. Hey, let me tell you something, Jimmy. You know what's so unique? Y'all are so quick to worry about the regular season when it applies to your narrative, but I thought the playoffs was more important. I just thought
the playoffs is more important.
Mm-hmm.
But for certain players, for certain teams, they can and have earned the right. They can go in their cruise mode. They can go in third gear. They can have a little, but the thing is, when people are going to look and they're going to fine tune, let's say they're going to go through certain things with a fine tooth comb, and this was just one of the things.
You know what?
Now,
you know what I see with the Clippers right now? Paul George has not been healthy. He's a vital part. And guess what? You just said something key. You said, Hatter, what's going on with the Clippers? They're in third place. 38-19 record. One game out of second place. I would like, most teams in the league would like to have those problems they have. And me personally, I just don't think Paul George, I've never had a shoulder surgery, but when I try to shoot, Jimmy, every time I do it, it requires all of this up in here. So he just ain't been playing that well to me. He's averaging 20 points a game, but he ain't playoff P no more. But it ain't the playoffs yet. So, hey, I like it. I'm not panicking about him because when I'm gonna tell you what I do when stuff like this happen. I always call the coaching staff. And guess what? They said we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Patrick Beverly been hurt, Jimmy. They bulldog. He been hurt. Jimmy, let me tell you something. When you get hurt, let Anthony Davis or that man-child get hurt one time with them Lakers. They've been lucky. that they hadn't had no injury that'll keep those two out the game that long. So, and Greek Freak hasn't been hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
No. That'll keep him out long enough to affect playoff Paul George's both shoulders. He had surgery on both shoulders. But guess what? Like I'm gonna do like y'all do. Let's wait till the playoffs. We'll see where the Clippers stack up. They're in third place right now, one game out of second. We'll see. I love to see it. I love to see it.
And of course, speaking of the Greek Freak, I mean, Milwaukee is one game away from their 50th win. Can you believe that, guys?
Who?
Milwaukee has won 49 games.
Oh, yeah. That's unbelievable what they do.
49 games.
It's unbelievable.
And last night, the Greek Freak had 22 and 14 and fouled out, playing only 25 minutes.
Who did they play?
Yeah. They played the Wizards. When I remember Bradley Beal scored at 55.
I was laughing at. That's all. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but I'm saying 22 and 14 and 25 minutes in the NBA. That's some productivity. And Middleton stepped out and scored 40 despite only making 2 3-pointers.
I'm glad you mentioned them, Jimmy. Think about what you just said about them guys. I'm gonna give it up for them right now because I was reluctant to, but I'm gonna give it up to them now. Jimmy, on Sunday, they clinched the playoff game without playing a game. They clinched being in the playoffs without even play. They didn't play on Sunday. When the Wizards lost to the Bulls, Milwaukee clinched the playoff spot without playing. Milwaukee has become the earliest team to clinch a playoff spot in the NBA in 15 years and improved to 48 this couple of days ago, 49 and 8 now with they win when they beat Philly the other day. Check this out, Jimmy. Check this out since you brought them up. The Bucks are on pace to win 70 games, only accomplished by Michael Jordan's Bulls in 1995, 1996 with 72. And in 2015, 2016, Golden State Warriors, where they were up then, they were upset by the Cavs in the finals. And I just looked at Giannis, man, Giannis at the Kupo. Jimmy, he the real deal, Doc. He the real deal. I was reluctant because remember I said, what superstar? I've seen him miss free throws, the whole rim. I've never seen a superstar do that before. Maybe y'all have. I just never seen it. But he just scared me sometimes because I think he's so talented, but I think sometimes he get a little nervous. That's the only thing to make you just miss the whole rim on a free throw. There's some high school kids that I've seen ain't never missed a free throw. But that's it. What else you got?
One more thing in basketball before we get to if you just tuned into the Chop Shop, welcome you guys to the show. And we're going to talk some high school basketball playoffs shortly. But first, we're going to get into some college basketball. One of the things we did not talk about yesterday was, as we do every Monday, and that is we look through some of the at the Associated Press, the weekly AP poll, which of course Baylor and Kansas played this past weekend, which the Bears lost by 1 possession. As a result, Kansas jumps up 2 slots into the 1 hole. Baylor only drops 1 spot, which is rightfully so, and falls to number 2. Gonzaga also lost this past weekend. And here's where I got questions at, where it comes in at. Gonzaga lost to an unranked team, if I'm not mistaken, right? Baylor lost to the number 3 team in the country. They fell 1 spot. Gonzaga lost to an unranked team. Why did they only fall 1 spot? I understand Baylor was at home, but you're playing the number 2 team in the country, number 3, who's now number, and the team who had been number 1 in the country previously in the season. Gonzaga drops 1 slot. Also, San Diego State, who was number 4 last week, they lost to, I think, to UNLV, to another unranked team, right? Why did San Diego State fall just one spot? Understand this. I think understand the voters somehow they must be tired of voting because you voting on team. They must be tired. Now, I mean, there's no way. It don't even make sense. Normally, if you lose to an unranked team, you're gonna fall at least 3-4 slots, at least 3 slots, an unranked team. Florida State. The reason I say that because Florida State is at number 6. They were at number 8 last week. Florida State played Louisville. I watched some of that Louisville game last night, Heather, and Florida State went on a 15-0 run, and they opened up a can of whoopers on Louisville. And I realized them dudes have won 22 straight home games in the ACC. Black head coach
Leonard Hamilton,
who's been on the Chop Shop at least 5 times. You guys let us know now. If you want some coaches, you want to hear from some of these coaches or some of their staff on the Chop Shop, send us an email. Let us know. We've had everybody on there. I just stopped. We just, it's been so fun, I figured it'd get redundant. But if you want to hear somebody, send us an email, ChopShopHTX@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we'll get somebody from the staff, if not the head coach, one of the assistants on the Chop Shop. 4 out of 5 times names you send, I probably got them up in one of these. They're up in one of these.
And what you ain't got, I got it here.
I mean, seriously. So whoever you guys, this helps expedite and inform and entertain your workday. Now, the University of Houston Cougars, they lose at Memphis over the weekend, and as a result, they're back down to the 25 slot. So the University of Houston falls from 22 to 25, and now this should be the wake-up call. Mind you, the voters do not care who was hurt. They don't care who didn't play. They don't care who fouled out. The end result is the team. You either win, you lose. Texas Tech jumps up to 22. They were 25 last week. And that means out of only 3 schools from the state of Texas are in the top 25 in the country of men's basketball. Baylor at number 2, Texas Tech at 22, and University of Houston at 25 on the men's side. And of course, you know that Baylor's women is number 1 in the country on that running thing. But that was one I wanted to get that insert that for your listening or viewing pleasure. Now, I'll go quickly to the boom boom room. Then we can shift gears and jump. Well, hold on. I see a couple of comments now.
I'm having fun. I had starting 5 up there, Jimmy. Then Melvin Dews told me he demanded a recount. So I gave him a starting 6. Then Clarence Harris said, man, yes, recount. That's some bull. Y'all off the chain, man.
Oh, and definitely one of the comments I just noticed was from DeAndre Dearman.
What'd he say?
He says, we really appreciate you guys for having that event.
Okay.
The Middle School City Championships, which was held this past weekend at Houston Booker T. Washington High School. He says, next year that event will be big. It's a great event. I enjoyed coaching it. The boys love playing in it. Crosby Middle School, based out of Hitchcock, Texas, the champions of the 7th grade division.
Kiki, do you love me?
That is a little Kiki. Yeah. And so that was definitely, that team won the 7th grade. I mean, they should take care of business next year and come back to defend their title. All right? And also,
Jamie, hold up. Since you there, I got to say this. I was stopped last night at the game, and Coach said, Rob, and he right, and it's my bad. He said, well, y'all didn't say nothing about Jacoby Osborne. I know, Jimmy, you mentioned him a little bit, but I like little Jacoby. He was at the game. He ain't little Jacoby. He was at the game. This the Jacoby Let me talk about Jacoby from Lake Olympia. They was throwing the ball off the backboard and he was going and dunking it in fast break. That Jacoby. And they stopped me last night and said, man, y'all didn't say nothing. I said, Coach, I wanted to tell Coach, but I tell him on here, Coach, he lost. Jimmy is the guy that liked the winning team. Jimmy always, if you lose, I can't talk about Jacoby. Jimmy can't, but I can talk about Jacoby. Jimmy wasn't going to talk about him because he lost in the championship. But he did talk about their exploits over the weekend because you said their margin of victory was so great. But Jacoby Osborne, I met him and shook his hand last night. He was at the game last night. Great young kid, mannerable. They came in, Jimmy. You know how you told me to watch them. They went up and sit in their little section, and they just mannerable young men. And shout out to Jacoby. If didn't nobody, I talked about Jacoby today. Jimmy didn't. Jacoby Osborne. They was throwing it off the backboard, and he was going and setting it down in the 8th grade. Boy, I can't wait till next year. Now, what else you got, Jim?
It's definitely going to be good next year. And Olga says, what is Baylor's secret from having a #1 women and #2 men basketball team in the country? Well, winning. I mean, obviously you have to win, but they're recruiting. The difference between the two programs, the Baylor women's program, they annually get their lion's share of a McDonald's All-Americans.
Okay.
The men's program do not.
Okay. So the men get it out the mud.
They getting it out the mud. Remember, I told you 8 of the 14 scholarship players on Baylor's roster have experienced a red shirt year before. Well, 3 of them are currently red shirt now. So 5 of their rotation players have been red shirted. So they're not playing. They're not winning with 18-year-olds or 19-year-olds. They're winning with 20 to 23-year-olds. And often that makes a difference when you're playing against other teams where there are no one and dones. How many one and dones are there in the Big 12 this year? You follow me? Mm-hmm. Who's a one and done? Now, there may be one next year coming. Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham is his name. But as it stands, you're not playing against the one and dones this year in your conference. So, the experience and the way that they are developing these guys is prevailing. Let me tell you what I noticed about Baylor last weekend. On the day before they played Kansas, or it may have been 2 days before they played. They played on Sunday, so it might have been Friday or last weekend. One of their star players got baptized.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. In the middle of the season, if your star player's mind is to get baptized, that lets you know about life outside of the court, about winning in life. I always say that. That's a hell of a sign.
Who is that? Mark Vital?
Mark Vital,
yeah,
from Louisiana. He got baptized.
Yes.
I know the Baylor basketball program, men's. They are very, very, how would I say it, connected spiritually. If you are a player or your family, your grandmama, while they were recruiting you, if somebody in your family believe in the Bible, they're going to connect with that person. Oh, that's what Baylor do. Yes. See, I don't know how they recruit. They find out who in your family go to church or who believe in the Bible. And guess what they do? Because everybody on their staff has one thing in common. They all share the same spirituality beliefs. They do.
It's cool staff, man.
Not every coaching staff in the country. I can put it like this: there ain't more than 10 coaching staffs from, just take away Liberty. Liberty don't count. And BYU don't count. So their spirituality has to be in sync at those two programs. I can take a couple other ones away, but you guys know those type of programs, extract those from the conversation. But if all of the Division One, put it like this, let's say the Power Fives, it ain't this many staffs that are probably all in sync in Power Five basketball programs spiritually, meaning that you guys know what I'm talking about. They're yoked together.
Yeah, it's a different flavor, but
They're different.
it's a great spirit. Even my visiting up there, when I went up there to visit at an event, it's just different. It's just not to say the other staffs are not great, because I love the U of H staff, but that staff, it got a different spirit about it. Yeah, you got a different spirit about it. So that's a great job. So when we gonna start? Wait, what playoffs, Jimmy? Come on now. What time is it?
Yeah, that's that time, guys. It's just that time. You guys can right now. Let me go up there and share the show. We're on the back nine.
Okay, let me do it too. Hold on.
Right now.
Hey, everybody, let's do it at the same time. Watch this.
That we get right into the high school playoff results. And first we'll get right at the.
And Jimmy, Jimmy, that YouTube is in full effect over there of Facebook. They're in full effect over there on YouTube now.
Yeah.
I see the boom YouTube room. They in ugly toe. We got King Sticks, Todd Byron's over there. I mean, dude, they got in Melbourne dudes, you got to realize it's people in the YouTube boom room. Y'all got competition. It's people they coming up on the Facebook feed to be in the starting five also. So I just love it. I'm talking back and forth to both parties, and I'm just enjoying myself. But they are Brian Miles. He's in there. King Sticks. What's your name so I can know who the King Sticks is? Because he saw the Shadow Creek. He said Shadow Creek, a freshman team, a few of them guys got in the game last night. A few of the freshmen, you know how they move the freshmen up during the playoffs. A couple of them got in the game because Shadow Creek beat the brakes off Austin last night. But Jimmy, go where you want to go. Start it off. I'm gonna let you start it off.
Let's start at the bottom at 4A.
Okay.
And 4A, of course, Jack Yates extended their national record-setting 100-point streak. They increased it to 19 games in a row. Once again, where Jack Yates High School out of Houston has scored at least 100 points. The national record was 15. They're at number 19 right now. And and rolling. Last night, 134-63 was the final score over Bay City, right? And in that game, you know, I found it was intriguing that, of course, thanks Rod Wells just provided one hell of a stat, speaking of Yates, that they've scored approximately 2,124 points during this 19-game win streak. And the opponents have scored 1,074 points. That means Jack Yates has outscored their opponents by approximately 1,100 points, right at almost 1,100 points in the process. To be precise, 1,000, I'm saying that's 1,050, 46. 50, 1,050, something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. A lot of points.
In 19 games. That's roughly 19 games, guys. So you divide 20 into 1,000, that's 50. That means Yates is beating people by an average of 50 points a game approximately during this win streak. That's what that number says. They win, so now Yates will wait and play the winner of Hardin, Jefferson, and Shepherd. They play this evening, 8 o'clock at Barbers Hill High School. Check this out.
Who played this evening?
Hardin Jefferson. Remember, that's the team that had to play.
Who Hardin Jefferson playing?
They playing Shepherd. Hardin Jefferson is expected to beat the stuffings out of Shepherd. Expected to. However, check this move out, what I learned. On the other side of the bracket, up top, because if Yates, whoever they play Hardin Jefferson, their third round opponent would be possibly Lamarck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lamarck plays Fur today at Brazos Wood High School at 5:30.
Lamarck. Okay.
That's Lamarck High School
Okay.
plays at 5:30.
Okay.
Right? Check this out. So this means I'm telling you what I'm expecting. I'm expecting for Yates coaches to be in full force at 5:30 over at Brazos Wood High School scouting Lamarck as they take on Fur. Fur not a pushover. Fur could win this game. You're talking about a 4 can beat a 1. Fur is not bad.
Jimmy, they said that last night about a team.
I'll tell you about that later. I won the bet. I played the bookie. Came out of retirement and played the bookie over on Twitter with one of the young fellas.
Okay.
He put together a parlay. I'll tell you guys about that later. I knocked him off. I might have won the parlay as the book. He might have lost every game. But poor young fella. But Lamarck plays at 5:30. Yates coaches will be there. Right? That Barbers Hill game in Hardin Jefferson don't start till 8 o'clock. A 5:30 game is going to end at about 7 o'clock, 6:50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, 7:50, 8 o'clock. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No, 5:30 game will end about 7:15. So they could have enough time to drive over to Barbers Hill from Brazos Wood. It's probably a 40-minute drive. Maybe that time of day, maybe 50 minutes that time of day. Packed in a little traffic. Yates coaches get a chance to get a double shot and scout both opponents in full on the same night. That's unheard of from two different locations. They will get a chance to see both games in their entirety. Also last night, Silsbee on the other side of the bracket in 4A, they took care of Livingston 68-54, and North Forest falls to Brazosport 74-66. That means Silsbee will take on Brazosport on Friday night, 7 p.m. at Channelview High School in the second round game. Once again, I told you guys to play on Jack Gates. If Hardin Jefferson wins this game tonight, you're going to expect Jack Gates to flip to play on Thursday. That would mean that Hardin Jefferson or Shepherd, whoever wins that game, would only have 1 day of practice in advance of facing the Yates press.
I got 2 words for him, Jimmy. Press break.
They're gonna need it. They're gonna need it. And realize he's gonna flip for Thursday. There ain't no doubt about that. Jack Gates is gonna always flip for the day that will yield or prevent the opponent from practicing an extra day for him. That's just how he rolls. And speaking of,
I need you to quit telling all Greg's secrets.
Well, I ain't tell all of them.
Okay.
Like the 6'10" kid that's about to check in. I ain't telling that.
Oh, okay. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
That's what the grapevine tells me. But now let's go to 5A. Last night, Katie Paytal picked up a hard win.
Hold up, Jimmy. I got to give applause for that. That's a new
school. 51-48 win over Willis. That's a 1 seed over the 4 seed. Luckily, man, Paytal, they escaped. Great win for them in that, because I'm rooting for Paytal, and I'm looking for a Paytal-Huntsville showdown in the third round of that Region 3-4A classification. Also last night, around the area, Madison took care and avoided another number 1 seed who narrowly escaped by 1 possession over a 4 seed. Madison played Manville, and for the 3rd year in a row, Madison has eliminated Manville from the postseason. So it looks like the decision between Northside and Madison were tied. And Madison said, give us, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Put us on the side. We'll take Manville first. And Craig Mara has done it again. I had a guy ask me this past weekend, why is Craig Mara still at Madison? Why didn't they change coaches? I said, are you not paying attention how many times the Madison has made the playoffs? And they get past the first round a lot of the years. Each of the past 3 years, if they beat Manville, that means they've gone at least past the by-district round of the playoffs. They're winning. And guess what? Madison, if you look at the team, they always keep a little talent over there. Maybe not enough talent to win 5 games in a row in the playoffs, but they got enough to keep you from winning 5 games in a row. Now, also last night, we're talking about 5A Region 3. Shadow Creek, Austin, we mentioned that earlier. Shadow Creek 73-45 win over Austin. We await the winners between Nederland and Galveston Ball. That should be a very tough game tonight. I'm still expecting Nederland to come out with the win because Nederland has a player, a Division I signee on their roster named Hayden Hefner. Hayden Hefner is about 6'5". He played in the Christmas crossover this past season. And Hayden Hefner, Galveston Ball is tough now. But this Nederland team, they should. So now Nederland, Shadow Creek would be a nice second round matchup. Meanwhile, also on the second half of the doubleheader last night after Shadow Creek and Austin was the Hightower Hurricanes 87-56 over Sharpstown. Heather, you was there, right? Wasn't you there, Heather?
Jimmy, you know what? The reason I'm whistling, it's some people. Hold on. It's some people. Don't tell me, hey, man, that's starting 5 at Sharpstown, man. They super athletic. They go. Hey, y'all. Hey, man. Y'all got to stop saying this stuff, people. Especially to me, because I'm going to go to the game and see it. Y'all got to stop telling me, just say, hey, man, you know, man, Jimmy, it was some people showed up last night thinking Hightower was going to lose.
Really? How you know that?
You know I got birded. Hey, people don't understand. I got people stationed in all parts of the arena, everywhere I go. So understand that. I got people stationed. Jimmy, the stuff that they was telling me, the reactions, is people ain't got nobody on neither team was cheering for Sharpstown to beat these guys. Dude, I just, you know what I love about it? After the game, field Hightower players, I promise you, they said, Mr. Hatter, what time, and the mamas might be on here, what time the Chop Shop come on? Man, we watching the Chop Shop. Y'all on YouTube, we watching y'all tomorrow. I said, man, y'all see it. Man, we seniors. We can watch it. I said, man, but Jimmy, I was, I didn't talk about it much, but I just kept hearing people. It was people showed up thinking these guys was going to get beat. Y'all really don't understand what's going on. I ain't saying that, listen to me. Maybe I've been blessed enough to be around this program and I watch how these young guys work and why these guys got a unique combination over there. You know, they got the star player. They got 2 defensive bulldogs. But tell you, let me tell you something. That little Chris Harris and Chris, them 2 Chris's, let me tell y'all something. Those guys, that's what I love about the coaches and this thing that these guys, y'all think, well, he just, no, I've watched these guys. Cameron Collins. Hey, hold up, my big fella, coach, hold up. John Robinson better be scared. They got Josh, I love you, baby. I ain't talking about you. But this is what they were saying, Josh, because I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about no kid. I'm not like them guys who came to the game, them grown men who came to the game last night hoping Hightower win and hoping Bryce have a bad game. I ain't talking about them guys. I ain't like them. Josh, I love Josh. I even told Jimmy, I like him. Jimmy said, but Robert, you got to go see him again then. But I thought John Robinson was going to just, no. He was a little nervous in the beginning, dropped a couple of passes from Bryce that if he had a got and dunked on Josh Farmer, oh my God. But Jimmy, you missed the game. It was just, I can go on and on because, hold up, don't let me stop. Shadow Creek sent them little old dudes back. Little old Davis, Shadow Creek sent them back wherever. I don't even know where Davis is. Somebody let me know where Davis is. Shadow Creek said they sparred with him for a little bit, Jimmy. And then all of a sudden, coach just sicked the dogs on him. And let me tell you something. That district, you're talking about Manville, the fourth place team in that district, could have beat the first place, could have easily beat Madison last night. That is a heck of a district over there, man. These guys are playing, Jimmy. But I was at that game. Unique thing. Bryce Griggs had 25 points. Jimmy, what's your favorite thing in 3 quarters? Jimmy, he sit down.
Oh, he didn't touch the floor in the fourth quarter?
He didn't touch the floor. Coach brought him out in the third and then bring him back in. Coach took him out in the third and didn't bring him back in at all. Didn't bring him back in. So it was just, they just got those young guys. They don't look like, they might not be from the hood. See, I've learned in Houston basketball, people like Yates got 100 years of alumni. You follow me, Jimmy? These suburb schools, the kids, they don't have that many years of alumni. If people just don't take them serious. But those guys, let me tell you something, man. If you don't like this team, because I talk about them, shame on you. But if you don't like these coaches, I called a guy this morning, Jimmy. I said, man, what is it in Houston that I've seen grown men sit up there and frown up at everything a certain player does? And they just said, Robert, in this environment, if some of these guys can't take the credit for this kid's success, some people we just don't like, even some of our people, we don't like success in our other people. And we hoping they don't sustain success. This one of y'all Houston people who grew up in Houston, he told me this. He said it. And because I asked him, I said, what is the problem that I got people telling me, grown men coming to the game cheering against a certain kid. You know what I'm talking about. Every time he do something wrong, anytime he do something, 16 years old, and every time he do something wrong, and I'm sitting there saying, wow. Man, and guess what? He said, Robert, a lot of people just don't like success if they're not a part of it. Can't no workout guy say they worked this kid out, Jimmy, because his dad and his brother did. Ain't no one program can say they made him because he made it. He was made before the program ever came into existence. So a lot of this stuff I see, man, I sit up there and cheer for Davis, Sharpstown. I sit up and cheered for every team last night. But I know the players on Sharpstown. I mean, on Hightower team, of course. We're tribal people. I'm around the Hightower program. Of course I'm gonna. But guess what? I cheered just as hard for Shadow Creek. Just as hard for Shadow Creek. And that's the problem that I just don't understand that logic, Jimmy. And I thought I'd share it today because it's weird to me. It's weird to me. Weird to me. So what else you got? Well, what did you hear about the game, Jimmy?
About the Shadow Creek and the doubleheader with the Shadow Creek, Austin, and Hightower and Sharpstown. Mm-hmm. First, I want to go back to that Madison-Manville game. It was about a month ago. I went and I saw Madison play. Mm-hmm. and against Sharpstown. So I saw Madison and Sharpstown play in a key district matchup. Oh, it was held over at the Pavilion. And in that game, I saw an 11th grade forward, right, named Brian Miles. He's about 6'6", 6'7", and he was getting it in, going opposite Josh Former. And after the game, I was like, oh, and I asked Coach, he's like, man, this dude, he got a chance. Jimmy, he said, this dude is our best athlete all around. Well, best, because Tim Moore is the most athletic. But once again, it's a spin on words. Most athletic and best athlete. Now that's a different variation.
What game were you at, Jimmy?
I'm gonna get into my game while I was last night. But Brian Miles, he's an 11th grader. Last night against Manville, remember Manville has a player as a big guy in their front court. So if you're talking about taking names, pay attention. He whooped Josh Former just 3 weeks ago. I'm talking about he had a day against Josh Former. And don't make him better than Josh Former. Well, that doesn't make him a better college prospect than Josh Former. But he whooped Josh Former.
The guy, Brian Miles?
Brian Miles.
Okay.
So now last night, he went opposite Sean Walker, who's from Manville. Sean Walker is another player who's ranked amongst the top 12 or so juniors in all of Greater Houston, who's a front court guy, a forward, what we call them. They got different variations of forwards. Remember now, talked about it earlier in the show. You got 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, 4Z. For some of you damn guys, you want to do so much with the forwards. But Sean Walker went against this, finished with 14 points and an L. Brian Miles had 28 points, 10 rebounds last night. We mentioned Tim Moore. Tim Moore had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 blocks. That means he had a good controlling game. His imprint was more on the defensive end than it was on the offensive end. 7 rebounds, 7 block shots is a lot in a playoff game. But I just want to acknowledge Brian Miles. This is a name.
That's good.
That, understand, he's not that polished of a prospect, but this is where it starts. He went and dominated 2 of the top front court guys in the area. I'm paying attention. Right? Who's that? Mr. Sasser says, Miles went to work last night. Grown man. Marcus Sloan said, Brian Miles. He only had 2 words. Brian Miles. Ashley says, Miles has been banging this season. So now I want to get that out of the way. So now fast forward over to the Hightower Sharpstown game. Well, I have the receipts.
What's the receipts, Jim?
And
is Miles a senior, Jimmy?
No, he's a junior.
Brian Miles was junior?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So him, man, he's coming back next year. Tim Moore's a senior.
Okay. Keep going. I ain't mean it. Give me your receipts.
I'm looking for these receipts last night.
Because I got a couple of them, too.
Here they are.
Okay.
Here they are. Now, no. That's different. That's another game I got to talk about in a minute. I got 2 games receipts.
Okay.
Well, they tell me Josh Former, from what I understand, had about 6 points last night.
Jimmy, I don't remember that. I remember a dunk and a free throw.
And I think Jeffrey Day sent it to me, and he had it down, had him logged for 6 points. They charted the game or whatever.
Okay.
So 6 points for Josh Former. In a 30-point loss, which that means I have one question, Heather. Did you stay there the entire fourth quarter?
Yeah, but everybody was talking to me. Uh-huh.
Did Josh Farmer play in the fourth quarter?
I don't know. I was talking. Everybody was
We know
talking.
Bryce Griggs didn't play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And they don't ain't expect to be guarding each other.
Yeah.
But did Jai Robinson play in the fourth quarter?
I don't know. I wasn't watching the game. When Bryce went out the game, I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's when everybody got to talking to me. So I wasn't really paying attention as much. I knew the game was at hand. I was about to leave, but I got to talking. But somebody said he didn't play. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. I don't know.
So that means at best he averaged 2 points a quarter.
Robert Carroll said he barely played.
So he played.
Yeah.
He played or you did. So 6 points. He averaged 2 points a quarter. Let me tell you something about accountability. Here's what accountability means. And a lot of people, here's the thing. Everybody wants, I get calls and emails all the time. Jimmy, you ain't gonna say nothing about this? Jimmy, you ain't gonna say nothing about that? You saw that go there? Well, see, here's what happens. Everybody wants me to shed light on certain things, but until it involves somebody close to you, every dog is gonna have his day as far as wins and losses. Because the laws of averages are against most teams, because at the end of the day, there's only gonna be one team that's still standing. However, there's no such thing as a bad game in the big game. Period. Sharpstown knew before they played Hightower what they were going up against. They knew that. Those players knew that. The fans knew that. So there's no way in the hell you can make me believe that, understand, that a player is as good as you're describing him to be. Yet he's going up against 12th graders who are unsigned seniors. Unsigned, no offers. Remember, I told you guys, explained last week how this stuff transfers over. Meaning that if you are a top shelf, a top 5 player from your class, if you're in the 11th grade, that means you should be the equivalent of at least a top 20 of the class in front of you. Top 5 and 1 equates normally to about top 20. Really, you can say top 15, but I just give it a little leeway. Just in case you don't know, top 5 and 1, normally you should be able to, that means the number 5 in the 11th grader should be equal or greater than, not equal or less than, the number 20 player in the year ahead of him. That's the correlation, how you can kind of measure this stuff. Josh Farmer is ranked in the top 5.
He didn't want no parts of Ja Robinson last night.
Ja is ranked in the top 45, something like that.
And Jimmy, Markel James, come off the bench, number 21. 4 points, 5 rebounds. Nick Hale, your boy, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Ja had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. Jimmy, this guy didn't match. Nothing against the kid, but I saw the kid play one time, and I said, I love him. And you said, Hatter, hold on now. You told me to pump my brakes. You're having a good day today. But then I told you, Jimmy, I said, I can only go by the day that I saw him. And then I saw last night, and it was just, he seemed like a kid that was just, the moment was too big for him. And maybe all the moments too big for him, Jimmy. But it
just don't make sense. And you know what, man, what I'm trying to do is, here's the thing. As we critique the players, I invite all of you guys to do what I invite myself to do. Number one, understand these are teenagers.
Yes.
So we can't allow ourselves and our critiqueness to grow into a form of malice.
Right.
To where it sounds like we're just pissed off at a kid.
Right.
For their lack of performance on the floor. These are professional athletes.
Gotcha.
So I invite you guys to join me in strengthening our efforts to keep it every now and then we got to add a knock joke in the middle of it. That's what we have to do to keep it kind of humorous, because understand, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. But the effort, young man, Josh Farmer, if you're listening, what you're going to have to be expected to do, because whether you know it or not, there's a few people that have been aggressively marketing your talents as the equivalent of the top in the country. I know you didn't do it, young man, but there are grown folk who are doing that, who have been telling college coaches that you are the equivalent of a McDonald's All-American. Wow. Now, here's where the problem comes in.
Okay.
You didn't sign up for that.
Gotcha.
You don't have no idea that people are doing that. But at the same time, you ain't asking them not to do it no more either. So you're taking everything that comes with it, you and everybody around. So that my thing is this: if you don't want that heat that comes with the expectations, because it can hurt you more than it can help you. Because what happens is, if you're advertising the McDonald's All-American, every time you play, people rolling film, they got tape, they're shooting it out there, and just as you promoting it, there's somebody else on the other side sneaking a clip in a coach's DM saying, "Look what we did against him."
Jimmy, in Josh's defense, let me tell you about Josh. Jimmy, he looks good. Jimmy, in warm-ups, some friends of mine ain't never seen him, right? They was talking about, they watched warm-ups. They said, "Rob, that's KD right there." Yes. Josh was looking, and Jimmy, I ain't gonna lie, I said, boy, Josh, I hope y'all ready tonight. This is what I said. I hope Josh ready tonight. John Robinson ready tonight. That my partners would say, "Man, that dude this team looked like a college team." Jimmy, they were yo-yoing when the referee was dunking the ball all everywhere. In the layup line, Jimmy, they looked like Tarzan, but they didn't play like Tarzan when the game started. Man, I like some of the things. Don't go get this twisted. I like some of the things that I saw in Josh Farmer. Josh Farmer got something that a lot of people ain't got. I ain't got it. You ain't got it. And most of the people on this thing ain't got it. But what you're talking about is he got people that are advertising him and promoting him as something. And then when you go see, I haven't heard the advertising because I don't talk to people. Ain't never said that to me. When I went and saw the kids at your Southwest Exposure Camp, I fell in love with him. That's the first time I saw him. But I saw him last night, and I don't even remember him. I don't even remember him. He just didn't do nothing to help his team win the ball game. Nothing against you, young fella, but that particular game right there, you just didn't make an impact. You had a dunk and had everybody jumping up. I even jumped up on your dunk. But you didn't do nothing else after that. I jumped up on your dunk because I said, hey, hold up. My partner who called him KD, called him Kevin Durant, he looked at me, Hannah, boy, high time we in for one tonight. I said, man, let me tell you something. And the favorite words of Terrell Owens is just a matter of time. I said, just a matter of time. So, but that's all, Jimmy. I just I like the kid, but he just got to get better. Thank God he's in 11th grade.
Yeah. So we luckily, they have time, and of course now Josh Fromm will be in action next. You guys will see him. I will make sure to give him an opportunity to redeem himself during the spring icebreaker while he's playing with, I think, supposedly with John Uri's Houston Superstars program.
Okay.
So that's the best I can do is try to help, because I mean, either I'm going to help you to help yourself or I'm going to help you to hurt yourself. It's going to be one of the two. I'm just going to help you no matter what, one of these platforms.
Right.
So it's up to you on how you do. Now, we're moving on because we're going up against the clock. Is
Okay.
in 6A now.
Okay.
Region 3 last night around Houston. Atascocita beat Beaumont Westbrook 51-41. They will advance and await the winner of Clear Lake and Elsik, which takes place tonight, 7:30 at Hobson Fieldhouse. Also last night, how about Katie Tompkins knocked off Ridgeport by a score of 57-53.
Was that an upset?
To me, it was, because I had Ridgeport to come out of that quad.
What?
Ridgeport, based on the fact that Ridgeport had won enough power games this year. This Ridgeport team had them beat teams. You understand how they had beat some guys this year that with their coach and without their coach.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
So I mean, I just figured, they beat Travis.
Oh, they did?
Yes, this year they beat Bush. Of course, they're in the district. They beat Martin Ranch this year. Ridgeport beat Martin Ranch. They beat Dickinson this year, Hatter.
What?
Yes.
That when Marcus Williams wasn't playing.
Huh?
That's when Marcus Williams wasn't playing, right?
Yeah, but they had the other boy. They had Tremont Mark. Okay. And that was enough to beat them with.
Okay.
So these were quality wins. Now, of course, Dickinson beat them as well. They lost to Hightower. They lost to Allen, right? They lost to Dickinson. They lost to South Grand Prairie. These are all potent teams. Atascocita. So I like.
Okay.
I was thinking Ridgeport would have been ripe. I'm sorry, to go on through that quad. So now, shout out last night to Bel Air. Truth be told, Bel Air now has a great chance to go out of that quad and get to the regional tournament. Because now Bel Air waits the winner out of Bush and Katy. Bel Air can beat Bush. Bel Air can beat Katy. Right? They win that game, they'll be one game away in the third round. They will have the winner either Westbury, who they've beaten twice this year in district play, Memorial High School, with Grayson Brewer and Evan and the little Ellie twins. And then, but anyway, those were games from last night. Also in 6A, speaking of Martin Ranch, they knocked off Elkins in a hard-fought win, 63-56. Martin Ranch.
Big Doug was at that game.
Huh?
Big Doug was at that game.
Yeah, Big Doug was at that game. It was a tight game, and he has a detailed recap in the VIP news, which is located at rcssports.com. Go into rcssports.com, and you guys can read the details from last night. We're going to update it again after the show at about 3 o'clock with recaps from another game that was last night. But first, I'll tell you about it where I was at. But first, I want to give a shout out. Martin Ranch now will face Sam Houston in the second round. That's a real tricky game. Speaking of Sam Houston, last night they played Side Creek. Right?
Who Side Creek got on their team?
Side Creek has Big Nate Martin, right? Who's ranked in the top 10 in the area, or top 15 or so unsigned senior. He signed with Texas. I think Nate is going to Texas State, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can refresh my memory. But Nate, last night, Hal, ain't no such thing as a bad game in a big game.
Who had a bad game? Nate? What Nate do?
What Nate do? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to pull this up for you. For Cy Creek, Nate Martin finished with 5 points. 5 points. Right? He signed with Texas State, y'all. The difference between he and Josh Farmer's in 11th grade. He has another year to get it right. Nate Martin, his last game, 5 points. 5 points.
Was it because he went up against that monster on the other team? Jimmy.
The monster you're referring to is an unsigned senior. Right? Understand how this is supposed to go. Now, some unsigned seniors will go Division I. Not every unsigned senior is going to remain that. John Shanu is a young man that I'm going to tell you like this. Since back in November at the McDonald's Texas Invitation, at that point, because he played in Sam Houston opened the season in the season opener, and I was lukewarm on John.
Yeah, it's all right.
Lukewarm on him.
He didn't perform when you went to see him.
But then Chris Walker walked in the building with me. Chris Walker had his college eyes on. Wasn't even in the building about 3 minutes. He said, "That's a Division I player." So who? He said, "The kid right there."
I'll never forget it.
He said, "That kid right there." He said, "Number 33." I said, "Really?"
He said, "I don't know why you ain't talking about him."
He said, "Where you got him ranked?" I said, "We got him in the magazine. We got him and showed him where he was ranked at." Chris said, "Man, you messed up on him. He way too low." I said, "Well, Chris," I explained. He said, "I don't care how you explain it. He way too low. That dude, what I'm seeing right now," and as he's talking, the kid is making plays almost on cue. As Chris Walker is talking, he's making a block here. Going to the free throw line, he's knocking down both free throws here. And it's almost like, sometimes people normally hyping up a kid, it's just a matter of time before they relapse. And you'll be like, one of y'all gonna elbow each other and say, "Okay, you see that? Every 3 to 4 minutes." And he had a game, wasn't like that. It was like in that game, he probably had like 16 points. Probably had about 5 blocks. Might have had about 12 rebounds. But boy was punctuating. Because the team they were playing against was a state-ranked team. I can't remember who Sam Houston was playing. They beat that team. And I could tell, matter of fact, I will refresh your memory, guys, and I will share with you guys who they were playing on that particular day. I want to say it was a Tascasita.
It was a game after Hightower.
No. Was it Elkins?
I forgot who they were playing.
It wasn't a Tascasita. I can't remember who it was. It was a team from out of town. It was somebody that was pretty good. So anyway, Chris, now fast forward to last night. This young man goes up. He doesn't even score 10 points, John Shanu. But he dominates so hard with I think he had 7 block shots, they tell me. And he just imprinted the game on the defensive end to whereas the guards won the game for Sam Houston. Right, don't get it twisted from what I understand. They played the Campbell Center against Cy Creek. But this young man played so well. He earned not 1 but 2 Division I offers immediately after the game. Head coach from UT Arlington was in the building. Not the assistant coach. Well, it was, because Snoop Johnson was there too.
Jimmy, it might have been Hightower. It might have been a Hightower game. But no, because I walked in with Chris. I was with Chris that time when he saw it. So Chris hadn't got there yet. Because y'all got there late. That's right. You had to pick him up from the airport. You're right. It wasn't a Hightower game. It wasn't. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't know who it was. But yeah, keep going.
I'm saying with John Chanu,
Yeah.
he's picked up 2 offers, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
2 offers. So here's what happens. There'll be somebody from last year that we played with and say, well, I told y'all he was division. Shut the hell up. Kids get better. He's got better. He's not the same kid he was in the summer. Hell, some of you kids damn sure ain't the same ones you want. You probably need to be the same ones you want in the summer, were in the summer. But for his case, he's improved maybe 4, 5 to 10-fold from what he was, because a lot of college coaches are looking for a big man who can go baseline to baseline. That's why a kid like Kadeem Latin made it right at Oklahoma. That's why he made it. When he got there, people wondered. One time people say, "Why are they gonna pick him out? He gonna play at OU?" He goes in that joker starting, playing starter minutes, and people wonder why. That's what people are looking for. You know why? Because that's what the mold is on the other side, a la Clint Capella. This kid scored 9 points and picked up 2 D1 offers. And guess what they call it? They call it a great game. It was a magnificent game from him. So know what that means? That means that, and we're up against the clock, and I know.
No, keep going. I got you.
That means that he was not misadvertised. That's what that means. Because what if a John Urey had been promoting that kid? The coaches would have been expecting something totally different. And when they come there, you're going to be disappointed, because you're going to if you're advertising or marketing your player as this, he better not be that. Remember that. If you're advertising this, he better not be that.
Wow.
When the person comes to see him play. This young man was advertised and has been marketed as defense first and an athletic forward who can get up and down the floor and could possibly serve and could be very serviceable after that first year of college. That's what a lot of teams get. That's why certain schools aren't offering young high school kids to come in immediately. Some need to go and season the meat a little bit. Let it sit there. Drop the meat in some juice and let them marinate for a little bit. I'm so proud for this young man, because this is a young man and his family who ain't been ranking chasing. He ain't been stat chasing. There's been games when Sam Houston high school guards didn't throw him the ball, but twice the entire game. I seen it with my own eyes. He ain't mope. He just kept pushing through. And now he's going to college for free at the Division I level. He got 2 offers, y'all. So that means he can go to Old Dominion or he can go to UT Arlington. Both in good doggone conferences. Options is what people want. That's how it comes. All eggs don't hatch on the same day.
Good work.
Everybody wants, because I'm eating eggs, you want to eat eggs. Guess what? Ain't nobody, if he has a great career in college, if he feels, guess what? Nobody ain't gonna care when they signed him. When the last time you heard somebody on the announcement of a college game and the color commentator says, well, he signed in April of his senior year. Nobody gives a damn when he signed. Either you there, you in the room, or you ain't in the room. That's how it goes. Props. Sam Houston plays Martin Ranch next. So guess what? Reason I'm talking to him so much.
Him going against Big Eddie.
There you go. Bango.
Yes.
Bango. So now he's going to be expected. Just like you got them offers, you can lose them offers too.
Oh, easy work.
So you let this kid come out there on next week or this weekend when they play Martin Ranch.
How tall is he? About 6'9", right, Jim? 6'8", 6'9".
They're about the same size.
He tall. He tall, Doc.
He's 6'8", 6'9".
Long.
Stephen will say he's 6'13". He's what I call a long drink of water. And one thing about it, I gave him due. Shout out to and Big Eddie Lampkin. Eddie Lampkin last night. Yeah. He had, Doug say he had 15 plus rebounds. Somebody reported 20.
Right.
And however, remember now, we had a situation a year ago when there was stats. And that's a topic that I was definitely going to talk about at the end of the week. Not today. And I got some advice for parents and stats. Some keen advice. So Adam, we mind me getting that. But shout out to, of course, Martin Ranch and Sam Houston being in the second round. And of course, last but not least, the game where I attended last night. It's the last game where we landed the plane, guys. I was at Aldine Davis in Klein Forest. They played out at Klein Collins High School. I got to that game, and that probably was the best game of the night. However, the ending it is hard to digest.
What happened?
In the closing seconds of the game, right? The kid from a freshman from Klein Forest High School. You hear me, Heather? A freshman.
Okay.
He goes and catches a loose rebound and throws up a three-pointer. Shoots a three-pointer. He didn't throw it up. He shot that thing. Mm-hmm. And it went in. Mm-hmm. Right? And it goes in, he gets fouled. Mm-hmm. As he gets fouled, the bucket goes in. The referee, one of the referees, waved it off, called it a 2. This made the score 73-74. There were only 2 seconds left on the clock in double overtime at that point. Post-game video footage shows the kid's feet was clearly behind the line. I was on the opposite baseline. And a lady next to me, I don't know who she was, but everybody was kind of standing, posting up to get on up out of there. They wanted to. But they said, well, because they got all the time, I had a little questionnaire. One of the coaches said, well, that was a 2. That was a 3, wasn't it? I said, well, normally my rule of thumb, lady, is if the kid and the coaches, nobody is complaining, is like doing a wild cry about it, then they must have known because they're on the opposite end. We're on the baseline. I couldn't tell, but I've seen the video.
I saw the video, but I didn't understand what they were talking about because I didn't even know what they were talking about.
And the kid name is Chandler Williams, mm-hmm. Right? Klein Forest High School. And Chandler hit that that bucket, but missed the free throw, Heather. Oh. So that...
I know that kid feeling bad right now.
That goes, and now it reignites the problem of what transpired because...
But they don't have the advantage of replay, Coach.
Yeah, but...
I mean, it was that clear...
On the video, yeah. Because
but I'm talking about in the bang bang moment. Because we can't, the refs can't go by the video. The refs have to go by the bang bang moment. And Kevin Freidman talking about the refs got to get their stuff together. You could have missed that call too. So
Freid is a ref.
That's what I'm talking about with a non-ref himself. He could have missed that too. I don't have the video. I just saw it. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what they were talking about. Somebody was talking about it on Twitter. You know, I can't decipher everything that they say on Twitter. But I didn't see the kid. I wasn't looking at the kid's feet. I just saw a kid hit an ugly shot. I didn't know what. I didn't know what.
And I even had what I did for you. Had I sent?
You sent it.
I sent you a still shot of it, And I kept going. One guy sent me one steal shot. I said, no, I need the shot. I need a better one than that. He sent another one. I said, well, I need a better one than that. I need one where I need the ball leaving his hand.
He way
And then he
behind the
sent
line.
one. I said, okay, I quit. I need to see the video now. And sure enough, they sent the video to me last night. And the head coach from Klein Forest, Coach Black, that doesn't mean you got robbed of a win. You definitely got robbed of a loss because the three-pointer would have tied the game up. So whether he makes or misses the free throw, it would have preserved the loss or preserved the game for you. That's the thing that is hard to find. That's hard, man. That's hard. That's really hard. And yes, the same refereeing a game from Klein Forest and Decaney a couple of years ago, 2 seasons ago, and a phantom backcourt. Well, backcourt call was not whistled, and the same official was refereeing the game. So I asked some of the refs this morning from the association. I asked them, and that's how they're showing you guys the video.
As big as I can get it, y'all.
I mean, not the video. He's showing you a screenshot.
He's way behind the line.
He's behind the white line. Is the 3-point arc. The kid with the ball in the white is the freshman.
And Jimmy, something key too, the ref is nowhere in the picture here. The ref is nowhere in the picture.
Wait.
I'm just saying, I don't.
No. The one who has that call.
But he should have been on the ball is there.
No, the opposite side of the court.
Okay.
He should be lateral with him on the opposite side.
So it's 3 refs, right?
Yeah, one is going to be behind him, behind.
But I don't see him.
And one's going to be on the baseline.
I don't see the ref behind him either.
Well, I'm saying the one that you wouldn't see the one on the base. You'll see the one behind him by the coaches. One should be back there behind the play, but that view is kind of slender. But this kid was clearly behind the line.
So do the team have any recourse? No.
That's the thing. It's crazy. You know why? Because that definitely should be where it should be. They should be able to play and resume the play with the game tied.
What did the refs say after the game?
They waited and got the police escort and got the hell up out of there. Remember, those refs don't live together. They go their own separate ways.
Oh, that's right.
You know, they didn't ride on the bus together.
But guess what, Jimmy? Let me show you how I think now, right? I know it's some plays during the game that kid hit a free throw, they tied it. So it's a lot of things that could have happened in the game that would have provided them a win. So, hey, I mean, what can we do?
I mean, I think it stings more upon for the Klein Forest basketball family, knowing that this same ref is the lightning struck twice.
With the same team?
With the same, the same program, the same school.
That's what I'm talking about, the same school.
I mean, it wasn't the same kids. It was 2 seasons ago. So that was when Kyrie McDaniel was in 11th grade.
Jimmy, I didn't even know until last night. I didn't know it was a rule against kids having a headband with NBA logo or socks with NBA logo. I didn't know that rule. I did not know that rule.
I can believe it. I wasn't keenly aware of it, but looking back on it, I can believe that. I can believe that.
Yeah. And it happened in the game last night. Them refs sure be watching them boys close. But Jimmy, thanks for sending me that video. I mean, yes, I did not understand what was going on. People kept sending me. I mean, I kept seeing the video. I didn't know what had happened. So
and I want to give a correction on the name of that young fella.
Okay.
That was not the Williams kid. That was Mr. Giles.
Okay.
His last name Giles from Klein Forest High School. So I want to make sure I know that number 20 is Giles. He's a freshman. From what I was told by one of his summer coaches after the game, he's a freshman. Guess what? He got a chance. That was a big time shot, man. He pulled it off. Big time shot. But anyway, guys, that was, now also in the same breath, I want to give a congratulations to Aldine Davis High School.
Okay.
And Aldine Davis High School, they earned that win. Their main kid, Greg Crawford, had 24 points in the win for them. He was their most aggressive player by far, for that program. And I'm trying to look and see what the big fella, Cannon, he only had 4 points, but he fouled out. He fouled out in regulation. Jay Sean Cannon. He's ranked.
What my dude do? Dalen Hamilton.
Dalen Hampton had a great game, but how about he had, I think, 23 points. Let me look at the scoreboard. 26 points.
Okay.
He fouled out
Oh.
with a minute. How much time was it? 106 left to go in the game. In regulation, I'm sorry. Dalen Hamilton fouled. I guess how he fouled out, Heather.
Oh, man.
With a technical foul.
Nah, my boy Dalen. Dalen ain't so Mr. Williams.
And he was putting on a great show for his team. If he don't foul out, Klein Forrest had the momentum, right? And he was grooving, got a tech. It was a one possession game at that time, but that was his 5th foul. And so, Aldine Davis, they advances to the second round. Shout out to those guys.
Who they play?
And they will await the winner of Langham Creek and Vandergrift. Vandergrift features Greg Brown in the second round for Aldine Davis. So Jay Sean Cannon and Greg Crawford and all those guys, this is a very winnable game for Aldine Davis in the second round. However, I reached out to coach a little bit too late because they had already agreed on a location. They're going to probably play, if Vandergrift wins, they will probably if Vandergrift beat Langham Creek tonight, they will probably play Ben Davis somewhere, I think they say around College Station or somewhere around up in there. So my suggestion to coach, say, Coach, why don't you try to get Prairie View? Your kids are a lot of department kids over there in Aldine, ISD. They can identify with Prairie View. Those people would travel to the hill. He said, Hicks, I didn't even think about that. He said, we already agreed now. That's why I was telling you guys a couple of weeks ago, if you can think of a neutral site, let your coach know. That may be kind of cool. Because otherwise, they're going to go to places that they probably know it's going to be, that they know have a buddy that's a coach or whatever. That's how they pick neutral sites sometimes. If you know somebody that has a pretty nice gym that has the seating that's not going to put nobody in harm's way, but Prairie View would have been perfect for that game. You know why? Because it would have gave Aldine and Davis a little advantage because they have played at least 3 to 5 games in a Coliseum type setting. Vandergrift, most of their games are in gyms, high school gymnasium. If you can get that advantage, you get every advantage you can. That's why people flip for the basketball. But anyway, guys, we thank you guys so much for this day of Chop Shop. And
Jimmy, what about Port Arthur Memorial? The winner of that game, Port Arthur Memorial plays against Hightower. So
yeah, Port Arthur plays. They play tonight at Lee College.
Okay.
And you guys can go and check out all the brackets are posted on rcssports.com. Go over to the website, look along the top tab. It has playoffs. Click on the playoffs tab, and you can print every bracket from around the Greater Houston area and check out the teams. And Troy Bienemy, he says that's Carl Crawford's nephew.
Which one?
Let us know which kid he's talking about. I don't know which one he was talking about. That's Carl Crawford's nephew. But anyway, guys, we'll see you guys on tomorrow. It's time to get up out of here. A great day. Hopefully we enlighten you guys, informed you, entertained you, and injected some information into your brain stream. Meanwhile, On behalf of Robert Adam, Jim, it's time to slide on down Dino's back and
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live. Chop Shop.